Hello, and thank you for taking part in this digital drop-in from Google and Parent Zone. My name's Chelsea, and we've got our online safety expert Tim in the chat box. Now, we'd love for you to say hello and where you're from in the chat box, so please do introduce yourselves in there. Don't be shy. Now, Tim and I are part of a team in charge of Be Internet Legends, which is an internet safety program designed by Google and Parent Zone to help families become safer, savvier, and more confident online. Now, over the past few weeks, we've been asking parents and families what topics they'd like us to cover in these sessions, and protecting personal information was one of the top answers, so that is what we're going to focus on today. Now, the drop-in, sorry about that, the drop-in is part of several different drop-ins that we're going to be doing over the next term, and this includes sessions on cyberbullying and sharing carefully. And we'd absolutely love to hear if there's any topics you'd be interested in us focusing on. So if you do have any suggestions or any ideas, please do pop them in the chat box now. Now, the plans for this session includes talking about how we teach children to protect their personal information online. So that includes understanding why internet security is so important and the steps they can take. Building mega strong passwords, which is the foundation of good internet security, and developing helpful routines that include checking and updating their privacy settings. Now, we want the next 15 minutes to be as useful and as practical as we can possibly make them. And we know that some of the best ideas are going to come from you sharing your tips and tricks parent to parent. So if you've got anything you'd like to share, pop them in that chat box and I'll share them with everybody. Also, if you've got any questions, Tim is there waiting and I'll keep having a look there as well. Now, before we go, I just want to check that everybody can see me okay. If I look a bit blurry, I recommend pressing refresh in your browser on your phone, tablet or computer. Or you'll notice a little cog in the bottom right hand of your screen. So you can click on that and select quality and change that from there. And don't worry about missing any of this because you can always watch it back later. So, as I said, Tim and I are part of a team that's been teaching an internet safety program called Be Internet Legends in schools for about 4 years now. Some of you might have heard about it from your children, or perhaps you've already attended one of our other digital drop-ins. Now, we deliver fun interactive assemblies like the pictures on my side here, and then teachers follow up with lessons what are part of a full curriculum. Now, throughout the pandemic, we've been supporting schools and families from afar using the power of tech. Hi Belinda, thank you so much for joining us. Now, Be Internet Legend teaches children 5 really important safety pillars. Now, this is a mixture of skills and behaviours that cover the most important things to remember when they go online. Now, this includes being sharp, alert, secure, kind and brave. Now, if you wanted to find out more about all the 5 pillars, you can have a look on Google's parent page, and Tim will be popping a link for that in the chat box as I'm speaking now. Now, the programme covers much more than protecting personal information, but like I said, that is what we're going to be concentrating on in today's session. I'm going to explain what we're teaching children about so that you can apply the same approach at home if you think that would be useful for your family. So, let's get started. How can we make sure children understand how to keep private stuff private? And what do we need to teach them about the tools they can use and the behaviours that we want to encourage? Now, in Be Internet Legends, this is all covered in the Be Internet Secure pillow. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on for the next 10 to 15 minutes. As I've said, the whole programme consists of 5 pillars, so do take a look at the others when you have a bit of time, or join us for one of our other digital drop-ins. We'd love to see you there. When we're teaching children to be internet secure, the first thing we want to encourage them is to think about what information is personal and what should be kept private. Now, this might sound really obvious, but in a world where children are used to sharing everything and seeing their favourite celebrities share loads of information online, it's really important that we explain exactly what we mean. Now, there are some really important rules that children should know. So first, they should know never to share their private contact details with strangers or anyone they don't know offline. Now, this includes on messaging apps as well. They should never share pictures of themselves that give away personal information, like their home address. And they should never share their password with anybody other than you if you decide that that's important information for you to know. And that's something for you all to decide together as a family. We talk about passwords a lot in the Be Internet Legends Assembly because they're the first building block of good internet security. So it's a really important topic for children to understand. We want them to know how to create strong passwords and why they are so important. Unfortunately, children sometimes share their passwords as a sign of friendship, and that can often cause problems. We encourage the children to think about why that's not a very good idea by giving them an offline example that they can really relate to. So in the assembly, we say, in your house, you lock up your front door and then you have your key to open it. Now, you wouldn't just give that key to anybody, would you? And that's exactly the same with your password. So look after it and keep it to yourself. Now, it's a really straightforward message, but it's one that you can reinforce at home. You might be surprised to find out that your child has already shared a password. And if they have, you can work together to create a new super secure one. Now, if your child's had a Be Internet Legends assembly, they'll already have some tips and tricks to make sure their passwords are super secure. Now, these include things like picking a unique word or phrase that's really tricky for somebody else to guess, making sure your password has at least 8 characters, and making sure you're using a mixture of lowercase letters, uppercase letters, numbers and symbols. And you can even swap out some letters for a similar looking number or symbol. So for example, you could replace an S with a 5, or a 3 kind of looks like a backwards capital E. So it can help your child remember what their password is. Now, if you do have any tips or techniques of your own, please pop them in the chat box and I'll share them with everybody soon. Finally, on passwords, we remind them, as tempting as it might be, that it's really important to avoid using the same password for lots of different accounts. In the same way, you wouldn't use the same key for your front door as you would for your car. You'd have different keys, just like you should have different passwords. We then tell them it's a good idea to change it often. Difficult, I know, but it's something we should really all be trying to do. Now, that's a lot on passwords, but like I say, it's a foundation of good internet security, so we want children to really think about them. Now, there are some more password tips on Google's Be Internet Legends parent page, including information on a password manager that you might find useful. So Tim's going to pop a link for that in the chat box, and if you're interested, you can check that out. So if passwords are the starting point for good online security, what are some other things that we need to be teaching children? So here are some more important messages. They need to make sure that they're logging out of applications. Now, this is especially important if they're using a shared computer or a shared device, maybe back in school or at the local library. Closing the browser just isn't good enough. They need to make sure their privacy settings are what they want them to be, and remember to check them and update them from time to time. Now, this can be something you could help with. Maybe make it part of your routine, like you'd check their school bag on their first day of term, getting everything ready. And another one lots of children forget to do is making sure that their devices have auto lock on them, so that if they lose them or get lost, other people can't access their personal or private information. Now, most websites will have these settings under the My Account or Settings options. Now, from here, you can change things like what's visible on your profile. You can see who can view your photos and posts or any other content that you're sharing. And you can also edit here what content you want to see when you visit. Now, I think it's absolutely fascinating how children can really quickly learn to use technology. Like, they seem to be able to just pick up any device or go on any website or app, and they just know how to use it straight away. But it's really important to remember that children aren't always great at using the tools and the settings that are there to keep them safe. Now, research suggests that quite a big proportion of children will share their password with a friend or forget to put auto lock on their devices. And considering that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is still one of the most common passwords used by people online, it's really important that children understand the importance of good internet security now. And finally, there's one more thing that crops up in Be Internet Legends, and that's reminding them to talk to you if they're ever worried or unsure about anything they see online. And that's in the final pillar of the Be Internet Legends code: be internet brave, when in doubt, discuss. Now, it can be hard for children to talk about things that have happened to them online, especially if they've broke a rule or maybe done something or been somewhere online that they've been asked not to do. But it is so important. Now, you can get into the habit of talking about what they've been doing online with your children. It'll be easier for them to be brave and talk to you if something does go wrong. Now, working together maybe to create some super strong passwords or using those privacy settings can help get those conversations started. Now, I hope that has been useful. I've really enjoyed chatting with you all. Google's Be Internet Legends parent page has loads more information on this subject, and Tim's popped a link in the chat box, along with a link to the Parent Zone website, where again you can find loads more useful information. But that's not all. If you have found this useful, you're more than welcome, and we'd love to see you at another one of our digital drop-ins. Now, we're doing them all throughout the term, and we're going to be covering subjects from cyberbullying to sharing carefully. Now, Tim's going to pop a link for those sessions in the chat box, so do share that timetable with your friends and family members, because we want to spread the word of Be Internet Legends to everybody. Now, this is really exciting. Google, Parent Zone and Aardman are inviting you to embark on the Legends family adventure. Now, this is a 3-part animated series that follows a family of internauts on an adventure through Interland. And you can also take part in the Legends Family Challenge, testing yours and your family's online skills and winning some fantastic prizes for your children's school. Now, this is launching in the next few weeks, and I'm so excited about it, so do keep tuned. Now, Parent Zone's parent page has loads of other activities that are fun, they're free, and they're designed for families to do together. Now, there's something for every pillar on the Be Internet Legends code, from kinder meters to password poetry. Now, if you sign up to our newsletter, we'll make sure you're the first to hear about any new activities and when the Legends Family Adventure goes live. Now, Tim's going to pop a link for that in the chat box right now. And finally, have any of you played Interland? It's a really fantastic game filled with lots of different challenges based on the Legends code. Now, kids absolutely love it and they're really good at it too. Now, why not make it into a bit of a competition in your household? See you can get that highest score. Maybe the loser has to do dishes. And there's one of the levels, Mindful Mountain, I can't get my head around it. So if I was having a competition in my house, I would definitely be doing the dishes. Now that's everything from me. I'm just going to have a little look in that chat box. Oh, Belindra, yeah, it does look great, doesn't it? I'm so excited for the admin and animation. I cannot wait. So yeah, it does look great, and as you can tell, I can't wait for that to be released. So yeah, like I said, do keep your eyes peeled, and if you are on our mailing list, as soon as it's released, you will be the first to know. Now, Tim's going to pop a link in the chat box for a short survey. It'll take you about 30 seconds and we'd really appreciate it if you could fill this in. It just helps us understand if what we're talking about is relevant for you and your families, if you've got any feedback or any other topics you'd like us to cover. Now, don't hesitate to get in touch with us. You might have a question, or you might want to share some of the activities you've been doing or your password poetry. We love hearing from you. So we've got an email address and our Instagram details on the screen now. Remember, there's no such thing as a bad question if you do want to get in touch. Gonna have a last glance in the chat box. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me this evening or this afternoon. I'm not sure if it's still evening or afternoon. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you all. And yeah, make sure you join us again for one of our next digital drop-ins. And I'll see you all soon. Bye.